And probing the mysteries of the mind, are vegetative patients actually aware of what's going on around them? Stunning new research could open new treatment doors. Stay with World Report. Now, it is a terrible fate, one almost impossible to comprehend. Imagine being stuck in your immobile body, unable to communicate with the outside world. Well, a new study suggests that some people in a vegetative state may be conscious after all. A team of British and Belgian scientists scanned the brains of 54 patients using the latest technology. This video shows the demonstration of a brain scan. 23 of the patients are believed to be in a vegetative state. 31 others are diagnosed as minimally conscious. The researchers say a number of the patients they examined showed glimmers of awareness, and they even communicated with one of them.
We are using these scanners to calculate what happens in their brain, but we cannot see a yes or a no. So here's the trick. If you want to say yes, you imagine yourself practicing your favorite sport, and there are areas in the brain that are going to be activated, and we can measure that very easily. And if they want to say no, they will do another thing. Think about something else, which will activate some other areas. And so I can read yes simply by looking on what happens in their brain.
One of these study's co-authors, Dr. Adrian Owen, talked by phone with CNN's Jonathan Mann about the implications of this research and what it could mean for treatment of people with brain injuries. Take a listen.
In order to perform a complicated mental imagery task in your head, you really need to have your memory intact. You have to be able to understand the instructions. You have to be able to attend to what it is that you're doing. So I think we can really say that they have a pretty well-developed set of cognitive functions. But as I say, these are a minority of patients, and I imagine that what is going on here is that we've identified a subgroup of patients who slip through the clinical net. Behaviorally, they can do nothing, they can't speak, they can't move. So to the outside world, they appear to be vegetative. Yet when we put them in the scanner, we can show that there's far more going on than that.
It's an extraordinary medical discovery, but it raises a terrible moral question, because from the sounds of it, these sound like people whose families sometimes withhold medical treatment, withhold food or even water, thinking that essentially the person inside has died.
Well, again, before we can really answer questions like that, we need to look at how prevalent this is. I mean, at the moment, it was very few patients in our sample, so this is not something that's going to apply to every vegetative patient. It's certainly the case that in many cases they will not be able to do this. So we need to, I mean, at the moment we have one patient that can communicate simple yes and no responses, and we need to look more widely. We need to scan more patients and see how many people this applies to.
Absolutely. Let me just ask you one last crucial question. Why didn't anyone try this sooner?
Well, the honest answer is that the technology has only really got to the stage where we can do this in real time. I mean, there's an awful lot of computation that has to go on to analyze the data and understand what's going on in the brain. And of course, to have communication with someone, you've got to do it while they're still in the scanner, and that's something we've only been able to do for the last couple of years.
Of course, we do sometimes hear those amazing stories about people coming out of vegetative states, and it turns out that they've been aware of what's been going on around them the whole time. Absolutely incredible.